Have you ever thought about starting to produce content for social media, sharing your views, and even showing yourself on camera? Maybe you're thinking, that might be interesting to do. I might like to give that a try, but you actually feel a little bit nervous or scared inside about how others will perceive you, what they will say, how they will react, and you fear that maybe you'll have to quit and take everything down and delete everything. Okay, I've been going through that exact kind of thought process and feeling process. Um, I originally got on social media many years ago because I had a simple goal. I wanted to let people be more aware of a product that I was selling, specifically language learning card games, which I still do today. So I thought, let me get on social media, and my only purpose to be on here is really going to be to show these games, show how they can help people, and try to get them sold. But over time, I've realized that there's a lot more that I can share on social to help people, and it builds a lot of abilities in me to try to do that better and to make that happen. I found myself desiring to build or create a new identity, sort of like I wanted to undergo a metamorphosis, because I've spent most of my working life as a teacher. And to be a social media producer or influencer, if we could use that word, even though I don't consider myself such an influencer. I'm not so famous, my channel is not so big, but just for conventional purposes, we could use that term. To be a YouTube video uploader or whatever, to me, that was something very new, very different. And I could see that there would be a whole new skill set that I would have to learn if I was going to succeed at that and get better at that. And I wanted to desire, again, a sort of metamorphosis in my life. I wanted to develop a whole new skill set. And for me, this was the most attractive thing, I guess, because I had had a little bit of practice with it. Now, what did I do to sort of propel myself into this arena and keep me going? I think you'll think this idea is very unusual, but what I started to do is brainstorm a list and keep a list of all the reasons why I should creatively produce regularly on social media. I think a lot of people who are hesitant to be on social media, like I was and to some extent still am, for us it's easy to think about all the negative reasons why we shouldn't be producing on social media, and we shouldn't even be on social media that much at all. We know all the negative reasons, but as sort of a thought experiment and a life experiment, again, I am a teacher at heart and I am a student at heart, I decided to keep a list of all the reasons on the other side of what I naturally tend to think. I wanted to force myself to think from the other side. Why do people like this? Why do people do this? Is it because they're so extroverted, or is it because they like doing filming and film editing and photography? Do they like the idea of being famous or whatever? I don't know. So I started to keep this list, and the list, over the course of maybe a year or a year and a half, it's ballooned up to about 50 reasons. And maybe at some point in the future I'll make it a blog article. If you're really interested, let me know. I could send you the whole list. Some of the reasons are a little bit repetitive. Some of the reasons are a little bit personal to me, so maybe I need to clean up the list a little bit. But I'm going to take a first step here today to share with you 6 reasons why I think you and I should creatively produce on social media. And the first one is a simple one. It is to do something new and difficult that will challenge us. Sometimes I think if it's hard for me, it can't be bad for me, right? If it's challenging you to grow new skills, and in some sense you don't really like to do it, but you force yourself to do it, you're going to be building your discipline. and you're going to be building your grit and toughness. It's difficult to produce regularly on social media. You have to think of a topic first, you have to hone that topic and perhaps write down a framework for what you want to talk about. You have to film your video, so you need a time that you're able to shoot. You need good lighting and a good place. You maybe need to edit that video. You've got to upload it. You've got to fill out the information for that video, so it's time consuming. You have to find your voice and find your on-camera presence and charisma. That is really difficult. And it's funny for me because I've had a lot of experience being in the front of a room as a teacher and as a leader, as a director. But the moment I started to put myself on camera, I kind of froze up more and I wasn't really myself. And if you go back to some of my oldest videos, you're going to see a big change in my on-camera presence over the years. I've gotten more comfortable with being on camera, and it's weird. I don't know why that is. How could you be better at just speaking to a bunch of people in a room than speaking to a phone in an empty room? I feel like this should be easier, but in many ways it's not. It feels strange. So there's a lot of skills to grow that will be difficult. Number 2. This one is a little bit more philosophical and maybe abstract. I'm not sure if it's even going to work or pan out, but I've thought this is a great way to leave a legacy behind me. I don't know how long I'm going to live. I hope I get to live a long life, but I want to be able to leave behind a lot of my thinking and my ideas and my positive character. I want to leave that behind in a very visible format. And doing this, it's kind of like keeping a diary. It's kind of like an audio-visual diary if you think about it. If you can be consistent on social media platforms, then one day, whenever you're, who knows, off the platform for whatever reason, maybe you're taking a sabbatical, or maybe you've died, I hope not, or maybe you've fallen seriously ill, or for whatever reason, you're gone. People can still learn from that content and appreciate that content, maybe as your own children, your own family, the next generation. So I think about, I might like to show my son and my daughter how I conducted my life day by day, how I behaved, how I thought. And if they're interested to be on social media, how should they treat it and deal with it? So that's another reason why I'm on here, because to consistently show up on here, I am documenting my life and my growth and my thought process. Now, will it be able to be here online forever? I don't know. Maybe YouTube could just delete everything. That would really screw up my idea there. So I don't know if that's really going to work. I don't know if YouTube stuff stays up after you're long gone and dead. I don't know. But anyway, that's another thought, the idea of legacy. People could actually probably scrape your YouTube videos and create a biography or an autobiography, so in that way your legacy, maybe it becomes more concrete, more easy to save. If you're regularly producing, that gives a lot of raw fuel for someone to create maybe a book or whatever. The third reason is to learn more about what young people are facing, be a part of their world. I like to be a mentor, leader, teacher. I'm a father now. I've got 2 little kids, and I went off to university before the world of Facebook and smartphones and all of that really took off and changed all of our lives. So the young people now are growing up in this digital matrix. I guess they're what people call digital natives. So they grow up inside of social media. They don't know what things were even like before. So I want them to know what it was like before. I want them to know what it was like to grow up in my time, when we didn't need all that, when we didn't have all that. And I also want to learn about what they're facing. I want to get inside their world. So obviously social media can be very addicting. There's a lot of negative stuff to see on social media, but we can also put it to good use in a positive way. So if I just share my ideas about it to them, but I'm not doing it, they're probably less likely to listen. If they know that I'm actively practicing social media and I'm on social media, then I get an equal seat at the table with their conversation because they're doing it too. So they might be more likely to listen to me. Fourth, and this ties back into legacy a little bit, this is my own visible accountability system. I get to look back and see how consistent I was, how disciplined I was. That helps me to stay true to my habits, and I hope that it also helps you. We're living in an age now where people can easily prove their habits to the world in public on a daily basis. Before, you just had to take someone's word for it, basically. Unless, I guess, you worked or lived close to them and you could see them. But now, the whole world can see what you're doing. They can see what you're doing or not doing. And people are going to be less likely to believe you just from what you say. So you can show what you do. So it's a little bit of it's like a habit tracking system for me. Number 5, this helps me to get better at helping other people to actualize themselves. This is a way to help me to teach and to lead and to influence and to transform others. Again, I'm a teacher at heart. I have a great deal of experience teaching and leading students in the classroom, and also training teachers, and also tutoring and coaching people. I've done a lot of that in person. I've been thinking about how to expand my capabilities and how to become a better teacher and influencer in the virtual world. So I knew then I was going to have to be better about my on-camera presence and posting regularly and getting people's attention, pulling them away from all the crazy, silly TikTok videos, for example. So this has made me better, more consistent, more energetic, more charismatic, more disciplined, better with technology, and I'm using it to convey what I know to an even wider audience, to people who don't live with me, don't live near me. I can still potentially reach them and help them, even if they're anonymous, even if they never contact me or give me anything back, it doesn't matter. It's a way for me to help them. And that connects to my last point number 6, regularly producing on social media, sharing my positive ideas and my creative ideas. This is a way for me to cultivate my abundance mindset or my generosity mindset, and to starve my scarcity mindset. What I mean by this is, if I can convince myself or train myself to show up daily regardless of what is given back to me, regardless if I get a lot of views, regardless if I get a lot of likes, regardless if I get a lot of sales, if I keep showing up for you guys and sharing the best of what I know, that's actually helping me. It's helping to cultivate my abundance mentality. In fact, I always can have more to give. I always can have more to share, and I don't need anybody to give me anything back. I'm a limitless well or a source or a spring of positivity and energy. So producing daily, creatively and positively, it solidifies that core belief in me daily. I want to be able to provide great value to people from the moment they first see me or meet me, with no strings attached. So this is a platform, this is a way to help me do that. So I hope some of these reasons helped you to see maybe the other side today. It's easy to be cynical about social media, but let's think about it more creatively and critically instead. If you have a favorite reason, let me know what it was down below. If you have an additional reason, maybe something I haven't thought of, leave it down below. I could add it to my master list. Again, I have 50 reasons. It's kind of crazy. But that's it for today's video. I'll see you back here next time, and maybe next time I'll be seeing you. I'll be watching your video on YouTube. Bye-bye for now.